Welcome to the Silvan Australia podcast, where we talk everything rural lifestyle. Okay, welcome to another episode of the Silvan Australia podcast. And on this episode, I have the pleasure of being joined by National Account Manager Grant Fraser, National Account Manager for Fiskars, I might add. Grant Fraser, thanks for joining us, Grant.
Thanks, Nick. It's great to be here and join you today.
For those that probably don't know, we've been working together with Fiskars now probably on two and a half, actually might even be 3 years now. We've had different brands that you've represented come through our buyer's guide. And I mean, the whole purpose of this podcast is to go through some of the products. We'll talk about them a bit later, but I'm really interested to know a company that's been around since 1694. Tell us a little bit about Fiskars. Oh, sorry, I've written that down wrong. Sorry about that. So 1649, my apologies. Tell us a bit about that, what it's like working for a company that's, in excess of 300 years old.
Yeah, it's a great company, Nick. I'm only very new to the business. I mean, 1649 is a long way back, and I've only been with the company for just over a year. Since my time at Fiskars, it's been wonderful. There's amazing people. I've been made to feel very welcome. And I guess the whole mantra of Fiskars is, making the everyday extraordinary, and they certainly, as an employee, make you feel that way. And obviously, we try and convey that to our customers and our distributors. So, but it's a amazing company. I did a bit of research, as again I'm fairly new to the business, but it was good for me to kind of have a refresher on who I work for. And we've got over 7,000 employees. We're in 30 countries around the world. It just, and the whole vibe, I guess, of Fiskars is really creating a positive and lasting impact on our lives. And it's something that's really important to both our customers and staff and colleagues. So, it's amazing. So,
yeah, no, it certainly is. And one of the brands that we really enjoy representing here in Australia under the Silvan Australia and the Selected banner is the Gerber brand. That's been around from 1939. It originated from Portland, Oregon. Tell us a bit about the Gerber brand, because it was reasonably new to me, but a lot of people I talk to are very versed in the brand. So tell us a bit about that brand as well.
Yeah, it's actually a great story, Nick. So there was three brothers under the Gerber name, and they were in advertising. And but that business founded in about 1910, and as an advertising agency. And over the years, they used to give Christmas gifts to their customers. And they came across a local knife maker in the 30s, a guy called by the name of David Murphy, just a local sort of small knife maker. And they started to he started to produce knives and sort of cutlery. And they then started to send those products out to their customers as gifts. And it really took off and sort of got the guys thinking, and essentially what they thought was just a gift and an idea of thanking their customers actually turned into, I guess, the business that is now, which is, I guess, Gerber Legendary Blades. So that essentially established in 1939, and from 1939 to 1986, they were obviously known as Gerber Legendary Blades and produced a fantastic assortment of products. And then in 86, they were purchased by Fiskars. Fiskars, I think, I'll stand to be corrected, but I think it was the first company that Fiskars as a business bought. Since that date, obviously, many more companies have been acquired and purchased, which obviously, the portfolio of the Fiskars group is very large now with a huge amount of brands. But 86 was the kind of the defining year that. It then became part of the Fiskars group. But just to this day, they still very much have their hearts in the US, in Portland, Oregon. All the products are still designed and engineered there. We have manufacturing in both the US and Asia. It's a fantastic story, and it's always good to look back on the history of a business and where they've come from. And like many other businesses, I'm sure this has got a great little story to tell. So.
Yeah, no, it certainly does. Before we get stuck into these products here, there's one question I have. I did a bit of research, and I'm
Yep.
really curious. The branding, social media presence that you have as a gentleman called, I've got his name down here, Seth Jaramus. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yep.
I do
And
meet
the
Seth. Yep. Yeah,
but the
no.
branding that you guys do and the social media presence, I want to talk about that catch cry that's right over your shoulder there. Easy doesn't. Really great. It's a great catch cry. Can you explain to our listeners what that actually means?
Yeah, sure. Easy doesn't. So that's obviously as our catch cry, and we stand by it. It's I guess part of our marketing strategy now and moving forward. And I guess the simplest way of explaining it is that everything that Gerber and the outdoor provider does is all about easy doesn't, and it's a way of connecting us to nature,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all about, as an example, the food. If I'm a fisherman, then um, I'll go and find the fish I want, but the harder I work, the more enjoyable and the better the catch I get. So it's
Yep.
not doing it the easy way. It's taking that next step, and I guess it's all about providing products, no matter what the pursuit. If it's fishing, if it's hunting, if it's camping, bushcraft, all those sorts of activities that we do. It's all about taking it to the next step, because the reward will be in that, and it's providing the products to then be able to enjoy those activities to the best we can. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great slogan. It's not taking shortcuts, all that sorts of things, and a lot of I guess the social media imagery and content that we produce now is all about providing, if it's meat, fish, or there's a couple of videos on people going to the field searching for mushrooms and the harvest and all those sorts of things. So no matter what your pleasures in life, hopefully Gerber can provide tools to enjoy that to the most. So yeah.
I have to be honest with you. I think from a company's point of view, to go out there and, but push the boundaries of political correctness. In my view, I mean, I don't hunt myself, but I don't have a problem with people that do either.
Sure,
but I
sure.
think in the world, the political correct world that we live in now,
Yep.
it's great to see a company like Gerber sort of push that boundary a bit. I saw a number of videos on how to basically fillet the catch or the hunt, let's put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think, there would be a lot of people, especially in Australia, that would frown upon that these days. But it's great to see a company, because the reality is that's life, isn't it? That's
it's a really good
back
point.
to the dawn of time. That's what we did.
Absolutely, and you're right. It has raised a few eyebrows. But I guess the thing with Gerber, a lot of Gerber products, they are what they classify as task specific. So they're built for a purpose. And yeah, if you look at hunting or fishing as two classic examples, the knife is designed for a purpose. So if it's catching a fish and then filleting a fish, we demonstrate that. We demonstrate how good the products are in the task that it's designed for. If it's killing a deer, removing tendons, using skinning knives to actually take the hide off the flesh, we show it, because that's what our tools are designed for. So it's an interesting, but I think a very effective. But it is part of life, and end of the day, that's what our tools are designed to do. So
no,
I'm
certainly.
glad you picked that up, because it's certainly the impact that we wanted to have on people who maybe have not seen it before. It's to actually demonstrate, in real life situations, what these tools are about.
No, most certainly. Right, while we're talking about the tools, let's touch on some of the products here. I'm looking at this one here, the Gerber Ultimate Survival Knife. Talk us through that one there, because I know my colleague that works with me here in Western Australia, he actually bought one of his own, and he gave me a pretty in-depth demonstration of this particular product. So talk us through this one. It was quite interesting, to say the least.
Absolutely. Probably one of my favourite products, Nick. Like its name suggests, the Ultimate is the ultimate tool. It's basically got everything that you would need on a knife or a tool to get you out of a sticky situation, or provide any sort of shelter or food or something that's obviously going to help in a situation that might present itself in. So this is the knife obviously in front of me. I've got a sample that I like to play with all the time. When I talk about knives and tools in particular, I always start with the blade. And that's the most important part of the knife, which obviously is generally cutting into something or is using. So as you can see, it's a quite a large knife, but certainly manageable and very, very balanced. The blade is a 4.5-inch blade. Now it's what they call a combo blade or a 50-50. So that means it's got half a serrated edge and a half fine edge. It's a drop point design, but there's so much more to this knife. If you flip it on its side like that, if you can see, I'm sure the listeners can't see, but on the spine of the knife, you'll see this mark here. And it's basically what's called a 90-degree spine. And the reason they have a 90-degree spine point is that the knife actually comes with a flint or a ferro rod. So when you're obviously striking and want to get a spark and get a fire going, you can actually use the back of your spine to actually strike the ferro rod. But it has to be 90 degrees, otherwise it won't obviously cause a spark. So it's got that built into the spine of the blade. This part here, which is the finger guard, obviously protects your fingers from obviously pushing into the blade. Couple of things here. It's got actually two holes. They're called lashing holes. So if you wanted to actually attach this to a pole or some sort of large stick, you can actually attach it through these holes and create a spear. So it's got sort of a multi-purpose effect, not just the knife. Extended finger guard with the rivets, obviously for slippage. The grip, I personally always prefer knives with rubber grip. Why? Because it actually gives you better grip, both in wet and dry conditions. So it's a rubber overmold grip. A lot of knives will have timber or aluminium, things like that. It's very much a personal preference, but to me, larger knives with a rubber overmold grip are certainly the most safest and fit for purpose. Right, so on the back, you'll see this stainless steel component. So that's actually a hammer. So you can actually turn the knife upside down, grip it with your fingers behind the finger guard, and actually use that to, examples would be tapping a nail or a tent peg or something where you need obviously to have a reinforced product going into the ground or pole or something like that. It's designed to obviously use and with force. So it's reinforced and it's got sort of rivets on the end. Lanyard hole obviously to fasten it. Oh, just about lost my headset. You also get a locking sheath, and I guess to finish an ultimate knife, you obviously need to fasten it. You can obviously attach this to your belt or even a leg strap. But if you flip over the sheath, there's also an inbuilt sharpener. So it's just a nice, quick, easy way to get the edge back on your blade. You can only use it on the fine edge. Obviously, any knife with serrations needs a specific sort of tapered rod. But certainly this sharpener on the inside of the sheath is just a nice, quick, easy way to get the edge back after a hard day's work.
Yeah.
So it is a fantastic product. It's really well priced. I think the recommended retail is about $89.95. And brand new for us at Gerber. So we're very excited to have this now available to all our customers.
Okay, that was Grant Fraser from Fiskars. It's great to have him on this first part of the podcast. Look, we're going to take a break here. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with part 2 of this podcast with Grant Fraser from Fiskars Gerber. So be sure to tune in a couple of weeks' time where we catch up with Grant once again and we go through some more products with him. It's great to have him on the podcast. We'll take care and see you soon.